I guess this qualifies as big news. When I look down the odds board for future boxing events, and I see like Logan Paul or Jake Paul, whichever Paul against Nate Diaz, like that's listed. You can go bet that right now. Now, we don't have these numbers up yet here in Las Vegas, but apparently some of those houses of ill repute offshore, you can find some numbers. Tyson Fury against Francis Ngannou is set, Saudi Arabia, October 28th. Yes! It's officially happening. As expected, Fury is a massive favorite over there. They put the U in favorite to win. That's not a surprise. Here's what is a surprise to me. The numbers that we're seeing so far popular. Again, not here at Circa. Don't have these up yet. Fury, minus 500. The comeback in Francis Ngannou, plus 350. By the way, I can't wait on First Strike. Normally, we just do it for UFC. But when there's big crossover, we're going to talk about it as well. Now, you and I did hypothetical lines before our producer Luke told us what these numbers were. Mm-hmm. And I said I thought Fury should be an 8-1 favorite. And you said...
It should be minus 2,500. Like, minus 500 is a massive underlay. I mean, come on.
How do we not pool our money together?
This is a sacrifice, Dave. I mean, Ngannou has absolutely no shot.
Wow.
Tyson Fury is probably one of the best big heavyweights I've ever seen. Elite boxing ring IQ. He can beat you in so many different ways. Like,
okay, let me make the case.
I'm happy for Ngannou because he's been inactive. He's not really, well, he's not a UFC guy anymore. He kind of left.
PFL.
So, yeah, this is a great opportunity for him to make, I'm sure, massive amounts of money. But he has no shot to actually win. If it's going to be
Queen's rules of
boxing rules, like, yeah, he has no shot.
We'll have to figure out. Look, there's a long way before you make these wagers, right? Because again,
I'd grab that minus 500 right now if you can, because that number won't exist come fight time.
I would imagine that would go up. Yeah. Now again, like what are they going to have 8-ounce gloves? They're going to have 12-ounce gloves. Remember when Conor fought Floyd Mayweather in 2017? Remember the gloves looked massive, right? Remember that? And again, it was like the smaller ounce gloves would favor the MMA fighter theoretically. The idea being Ngannou's going to be the bigger puncher, but you saw it there on display. Like Floyd Mayweather as arguably the greatest boxer you can make the case ever. And I know that's some people are going to pop up and go, how can you say that? Well, he never really lost inside the squared circle. And we're just talking about pure fighting here. Like boxers know how to throw punches, turn their punches over to actually articulate their motion. Whereas MMA fighters, sometimes it's not as boxing-like, if you will, right? So 4-ounce gloves is what they wear in the UFC.
Right.
Traditionally in boxing, it's 8 or 12. Mm-hmm. So, like, I look at it and I go, if the only way that Ngannou can win this fight is by knocking out Tyson Fury, because he's not going to beat him on points in whatever rounds this turns out to be, 12 rounds if it's legit, or if it's 10 round or 8 rounds, who knows? You're not going to win on points, right? So you got to get the guy out of there. So the thought process would be, you would think logically, the lower ounced gloves would favor the challenger, in this case, Ngannou. And look, I'm trying to sell this like Don King would sell a fight only in America in the 80s or 90s or 70s, even for Don King going back. And before people laugh and go, well, this is a joke. Okay, you might think it's a joke, but it is a real thing. It will make a ton of money. People will watch this, and kind of like Floyd against Conor. If you remember that fight, on points, Conor looked like he won maybe the first 3 rounds, and then Floyd's like, dude, I'm just playing with you.
Well, I think the difference to me, Floyd Mayweather started like I think at 130 or 135.
Oh, yeah, small.
Fought the majority of his career at 140, 147. McGregor's more of a 155-pound guy, so at least you were like, McGregor's a naturally bigger guy. I mean, Fury's huge. Like, Ngannou's going to fight a guy that he's got a longer reach, he's taller, he's bigger. Like, this, I'm telling you, this is a sacrifice.
Well, I remember if you guys remember this one for MMA aficionados, when Randy Couture fought James Lights Out Tony. And for us in the boxing space, like James Lights Out Tony.
That was in the octagon, right?
Yeah. And that was a sacrifice,
like,
right?
Fury wouldn't have a chance in the octagon.
And that's the point, right? If we're playing by those rules, like James Toney had to play by.
Floyd wouldn't have a chance in the octagon
against Conor.
Yeah, like it's two different things.
Are you interested at all to watch this? Because again,
absolutely, because I don't see Ngannou get knocked out, which is what's going to happen. So absolutely,
because Ngannou, he's the predator, and we looked at him at the UFC. You can make the case one of the best heavyweight champions.
He's a really good UFC fighter,
right? But known as a puncher, like that's his one trick.
As a puncher, not a boxer,
right? And there is a difference, right? Now Tyson Fury, for all of his greatness, by the way, and I said this to you before the show, I didn't see this coming in the pantheon of great heavyweight champions. I never thought we'd be talking about Tyson Fury, but, he did beat Deontay Wilder a couple times, and Wilder we looked at as the biggest puncher that we had as legit heavyweight champions, and now Ngannou is going to put on the gloves and put on shoes and socks and get inside of a squared circle. So, yes, it feels ridiculous to think that Ngannou's got a shot. I'm not saying that he does, but I'm just trying to make the case that we've seen guys try to do this crossover thing. Ngannou's going to take it seriously. I don't know that Tyson Fury is, and maybe that could be part of the problem of betting Fury. Yeah. Is he really going to train hard for this quote-unquote?
That's probably the only way or avenue I see to Ngannou, because it's interesting. Deontay Wilder's really good. The only man on the face of this planet who can beat him, in my opinion, is Tyson Fury. But I would give Ngannou a better chance versus Deontay Wilder than I would against Tyson Fury.
You give Ngannou a better chance against Deontay Wilder than Tyson Fury.
Because Deontay Wilder has, explosive knockout power. Like one punch, like you're out of here. But technically, he's not really an elite boxer. Conditioning-wise, there are times when you can tell he's trying to kind of gain his win. Like Tyson's just ring IQ is so high. Like he can grab and hold and make it an ugly fight and punch on the clinch, or he can jab and move, or he's got big power because he's a big man. Like he's such a complete fighter. Like I just don't think Ngannou can overcome all of those things in a boxing style matchup.
I think of Duke. If you don't know who Duke is, Duke was the trainer for Apollo, right? And so, like if you remember in the great Rocky sequels, where he says he doesn't think it's a damn show. He thinks it's a damn fight. Now go out there and finish this bum and let's go home. Like, I just worry that Tyson Fury is going to put on a show, because that's what Tyson Fury does. He's going to come out there. He's going to have everybody carrying him on a chair, right? It's going to look
Sweet Caroline,
right? It's going to be all that. And we're supposed to lay $5 on Tyson Fury, who's going to be a clown, like in the best sense of it, because he's going to sell the fight. I think Ngannou's going to go out there like, I want to go win. I want to go show people that I'm not a joke. I am taking this thing seriously. And I guess that's why you're seeing the dog price only at plus 350.
Yeah, I'm not biting.
I'm trying my hard sales
Unless they've
pitch.
got some kind of secret handshake deal because they want a rematch that's going to pay like 10x the already probably $100 million they're getting for this particular matchup. Then that's the only scenario I see. Tyson Fury is elite.
Now, again, I mentioned the Paul fight. That's Jake Paul against Nate Diaz.
Now, that makes more sense.
That does?
Like, Jake Paul doesn't get enough credit for how serious he takes boxing.
That's going to be August 7th, okay? And right now, Jake Paul is a 330 betting favorite against Nate Diaz. And Nate Diaz,
I would take Jake Paul. I would lay the $3 and something, just because Jake Paul takes it serious. He's been a combat sports guy. You go back, they have video of him and his brother training way back before they became like.
And Nate was a jiu-jitsu guy.
Right.
This is a jiu-jitsu guy who slaps people, and slap.
And Nate Diaz, heck of a UFC career. I think he'll put up a valiant effort. But the only time I don't favor the Paul brothers is when they start fighting real boxers. That's when I think they'll have issues. But when they're fighting other Twitter or internet people, or they're fighting combat sports guys in a boxing ring, I like them to win those kind of competitions.
And by the way, Francis Ngannou, win, lose, or draw, you've already won. You're going to make more money in this one fight with Tyson Fury than you've ever made in your entire...
I would fight Tyson Fury for Ngannou's purse.
You would?
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to see you in there.
You could train me.
That wouldn't go well.
Visit VSiN.com to get current odds, listen for free, find showtimes, and download VSiN sports betting podcasts.